My name is John Corbett. I'm a professor at Beijing Normal University, Hong Kong Baptist University, United International College, and I'm also the president of the BRAZ-TESOL Intercultural Language Education Special Interest Group. It's great that you're all meeting again in person, and I wish that I could be with you also in person today. However, travel from China to Brazil is still, unfortunately, a logistical and financial challenge. But I am grateful for the opportunity to say a very few words to welcome you to this event. Our mission in the Intercultural Language Education Special Interest Group is to explore the many ways in which culture impacts upon communication amongst individuals from diverse social and cultural backgrounds. This mission is all the more relevant today as our world has at once become more interconnected, but also in many ways more divided. In the Intercultural Language Education Special Interest Group, we seek to address our differences in attitude and belief from a perspective that is both critical and empathic. And our hope is to arrive at common ground and a mutual respect and sense of our shared humanity.
Okay. And what I'm bringing to you today is exactly that, redefining our purpose as a teacher. Not necessarily our role, it's kind of different than, purpose. So, what actually are we doing and why are we doing it? Thinking about us as human beings, not as, my role as a teacher. Okay, what do I want? Why am I teaching? What am I going to get out of it? What is it in for me? What is it in my students? Why exactly am I doing this? So I'm going to talk a little about redefining our purposes as teachers, and by engaging our students in more, inclusive, cultural, linguistic, communicative activities. When we used to learn, languages, we used to look at language as a structure. So it was a structure that was to be learned. So it was like English, I'm teaching English, I'm teaching Portuguese, I'm teaching Greek. It was always related to a nation, right? So in Chile you speak Spanish, in England you speak, in UK you speak English. And so it was a system. You studied, the verb tenses, you studied, past participle, whatever. So it was a system to be learned, right? I'm not saying that today it's not a system to be learned, obviously it is, but we do it in a different way. It's not only based on a code system. We know nowadays that language is a social practice. It's something that we acquire to speak to each other. So when we look at language in this way, we take off that kind of code system that you have to just learn that code. And there's a big thing that's been going on for the past 10 years. Oh, you're native speaker, non-native speaker, which speaks best, or which is the best teacher. If we look at language as a social practice, that doesn't matter anymore, right? It takes off that burden. So what we want to do with the language is interact with other people, okay? And interact, obviously, have a good communication, okay? And then also we have to talk about the social cultural part of how you communicate with different people, obviously.
I have clear opinions. You are strong-willed. She's stubborn. It's the same attitude, but we tend to do that, don't we? We are much more generous when we talk about our own qualities, our own characteristics, and we do that unconsciously, and we do it all the time. So we want to be aware of that. But when it comes to how you see the world and what choices you believe are the best for society, what choices will result in progress. And again, we're bringing this to the universe of our classrooms, because decisions are made all the time in the classroom about how we approach certain topics and what topics we bring to the students. Even when we have to follow the book, there are infinite ways we can bring this content. Sometimes the books themselves are different. And in the classroom, we have our own approaches, what we're going to emphasize, what we're going to dedicate a little more time to. Who is going to have the last word? And the discussion in itself is what matters. As you said, it's very interesting. You learn a lot when you listen to people who disagree with you, if you actually listen to them. Whatever you do, whatever becomes your priority, whatever you elect as the way you're seeing the world, and the decisions you're making, remember your students are doing the same, and it's okay. And they have to know it is okay. And if they know it is okay, you built yourself a bridge.
Imagine you asking a question and the answer is yes or no, just. But an answer to that. Okay? So I do minimally. Okay, you have to record a video and put that on Padlet. And also the idea is that you see all these videos and comment on them. They put the video, but they don't see the others videos. That's the minimum. Upset or insulted with those from other culture. Well, it wasn't very common actually, I just found that twice. But they were a bit not so comfortable with some American students, foreign students that studied in America, immigrants that worked there. But that was among the US students. They were not very comfortable in relation to the difference, to the cultural differences they have inside their own group. Complaints from both sides and missed due dates. Also, the resistance came from cognitive aspects, not willing to collaborate or learning from other students. Okay, but I'm here to interact or to learn from you.
First of all, we should be aware that racism is in the structure of our social relations. It won't go away that easy. And it won't go away at all if we only talk about it on May 13th and November 28th. It may be brought into play, it must be brought into play in the classroom on a regular basis. The school as an institution must be used to question racial discrimination. In practical terms, how can it be done? How can we address the issue of racial discrimination in class? Well, different materials can and should be used. TV reports, documentaries, well, by the way, there are very good ones available on Netflix right now, songs, and even students' own course books.